fun stuff. We're live. We're live. I almost started the live in that Riddler mask, but I figured it's either
Oh
gonna.
no.
Dude, that's the funniest. I finally watched the movie,
Yeah.
um, and I actually really enjoyed it. But that that guy, Spider Criminal on Instagram, put out this call out for. He's like, hey, if anybody can do like a Riddler like kind of impression, just like not like dead on impression, but like I need a Riddler like kind of character to tell me to hurry up and like review these McFarlane customs or something.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, man, dude, I was like, well, for $30, the outfit's pretty easy to build. And so I slapped that together and I was cracking myself up, man. It was even funnier when I was sitting here trying to think of something to say like for the first run. I'm just like sitting
Yeah.
there and I'm looking at myself in the like the phone
Yeah,
video camera, and
yeah,
I'm just like I'm
yeah.
breathing all heavy, and it's like it's fogging up the glasses. I'm like, oh
Yep.
man,
You got
so
to get
funny.
the actual authentic experience. That's exactly what the Riddler feels like. That's what it
Yeah,
feels like to be a criminal.
that it feels very muggy, is what it feels like to be
Very
a
muggy,
criminal.
very tight.
Dude, it's so tight. It presses your lips up against each other. I was the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
the first video I did. I sent to Ryan, and it spooked me because I was like, I didn't. It reverb through my like through the mask into my ears. So I was like, hey, I was like, whoa. I was like, why is my voice so freaking high? I was like, why is my voice so high? I was like, oh my god, I was dying, dude. I was laughing so hard. Um, Welcome everybody to the another edition of the old Monday Crewmaru live. Today I'm gonna be working on a very old custom that I promised to a friend a long time ago, and just didn't deliver on it. He didn't pay me or anything like that. It was just, it was one of those things where I was like, yeah, I get to that. I was like, now it takes me a long time to do
Yeah.
these, and he was like, yeah, that's fine. His name's Toys for All, like toys, the number for all, and his name's Jaime, one of the freaking coolest people I've ever met. Obviously, that's why I agreed to do this. But it almost feels like I disrespected the guy by saying, "Yeah, I do it." That
Oh,
feels.
no, you did.
If I tell you I'm gonna do a custom for you, you should be like, "Oh man, what an honor!" Wait a minute. How long is it gonna take? This dude, I'm pretty sure he gave me the parts in 2020.
Oh my god.
Well, so it was like a bunch of me and him did a lot of back and forth trading and work for trade or stuff like that.
Right.
He's a really cool guy, and he wanted a wolf predator done from the Predator series, and I was like, I don't know which one that is. I'm just not very well versed in it. He's like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which is surprising to me that NECA hasn't made one. I thought they made every kind of predator there was, but apparently.
And then they make up some just for the
Yeah,
walls.
so apparently this is one that I guess people like a lot, and I've got it semi-started. He sent me pieces of another predator to use. Like we've got chunks and pieces of all sorts of predators here to
Oh my gosh.
yeah, to take apart and
They're
disassemble.
like Frankensteining it, kind of.
Yeah, that's the only kind. That's the only reason I agreed to do it was because I got to do that. That's the only kind of customs that like I really like kind of doing.
Yeah.
Is the ones where you get to, you have to get creative on them.
Right.
So, but also, this is it. I'm not no more. No, not doing it for anybody else. I got a poor guy on the line right now, man. His name's Ruben, and he's got a he's got a Vegeta that is really messed up, man. It's like chewed up. Like
Oh, like a dog got to it or something.
yeah, not that bad though. It's not that bad. It's like it almost looks like somebody took like a knife to it or something. So it's like it's got some pretty serious gashes in it, but it's in
Okay.
spots that don't. It's Vegeta, so he's white and blue, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not that complicated. There is a spot I think in his hair, so that's just yellow. There, I'm trying real hard to just let this guy down as lightly and as nicely as I can. He said he's like it's sentimental to him, and so that's really
Hmm.
crushing me right now.
Right.
That one's. I'm like, oh, Bill. I was like, if I do this, oh man, I just
You're a
know.
customizer full time. That's the
No,
process.
I make my own rules. Okay. Yeah, I know. That's what. Oh, it's got me nervous. So I haven't given him an answer yet, and I just don't. Unfortunately, I just don't want to do it, and that's
Right.
where I think I should take the clue and be like, don't. I mean, because he's willing to pay a good. I mean, he's willing to pay a good amount. So it's never been about the money. Because I'm like, well, I was like, it's gonna be expensive. That's usually like my first way of saying no, and they're like,
Right.
yep, sounds good. I'm like, it's gonna take a lot of time. They're like, that's okay. How much time? I'm like, a lot of time.
A lot of time.
I was like,
longer than most people would want.
Yeah.
He's like most.
Yeah. Oh well, luckily I'm not most. I'm very patient. I'm like,
Yeah.
most people are pretty patient until they're not.
I'm not like the other guys.
Okay. Okay. I want to believe you.
Oh my God.
But I think I'm the one that's really the most impatient when it comes to my work. But anyways.
Like getting it done or getting stuff.
Yeah, because when I don't want to do it, I will find every single like reason to do other things. Like I said
Right.
on that video that I posted yesterday, I was like, hey, would you guys want to watch me like work on a custom? That seems really dumb. But that's what everybody's like, yeah, cool. And then of course I get a repair in today. I don't know what it is, and I don't think I should open it just yet.
Uh-oh.
Because if I open it, I'll probably end up fixing it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's cool and all, but
How dare you?
How dare I, yeah, right?
the guy who sent it in is just like, oh.
Yeah, he's like, I thought I'd join the chat, but now I just need you to send that back and refund me.
Yeah,
the shipping
I want my money back.
Now. Yeah, it's like, well, okay, that kind of sucks. What's up, Esteban? Oh, my man Moose is in here, and Samurai Chris, as always. Thanks for showing up, guys. We're just kind of working tonight, so enjoy that.
Yeah, for once, I'm not sitting here causing you not to work for like an hour and a half.
Causing me not to work. Yeah. Like that was that's not my fault. That's your fault.
Look what you did!
Look what you did, Ori! I didn't mean to.
You're a grown man. I don't know.
You asked me on here. I don't understand. Dude, you know what's scary about messing with these freaking predators is all of the pieces that just break with, like, if you whisper at them, and they're like,
oh my God.
Dude. Yeah,
I bet.
There's all sorts of... I don't know where a lot of these pieces came from.
And that's NECA. That's NECA, right?
I think it's all NECA. Yeah, so one's an old... So they did make a wolf predator, but it's like an old version that... I mean, geez, look at the articulation on this thing is crazy. It's got like... It's got thigh swivels, but then it's got this weird, like, cut here, and then the feet don't do anything. It's got single knees.
That's an old one, I bet.
It is. It's a very old one, but he sent me 2 of these, and so I have stripped one completely, except for the back pieces. I haven't got the back pieces off yet, which I wouldn't be surprised. These old NECA things were so much fun, like, to just disassemble. Like, you could get there and... There it went. Right off. Took it right off the back, dude. A lot of the stuff could just come right off.
Right.
I wonder if I can get the other one. Probably not. That was a one and
That's
done.
nuts. Yeah, I only have one predator, but I feel like, I'm not the biggest of predator guys. I'm like, you have one, you have all of them.
I think
I don't need to create a legion of them or anything. That's just me, though.
No, and I agree. I think I ended up with 2 of them. I think I got Predator from the first movie, the Ultimate one or whatever, and then I got the Concrete Jungle video game one. I really like that one. Thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, some of those designs are nuts, though. I know we joked about it earlier, but they literally have gotten to the point where they can just start making
Yeah, they make them up and people will buy them.
Yeah, there's one I saw. It was like, I don't know nothing about them. So if this is based on something in particular, then by all means let me know. But there was one that was just like, the backstory that they made up for him was like he got like experimented on. So he has like cybernetic and robotic parts all over him, and he like busted out of the lab and is trying to get revenge on all the scientists that like experimented on him and whatever.
Okay.
And like he's like twice as big as all the other predators, and
I mean,
covered all these robot parts. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I actually don't hate that idea. Makes sense. Sounds like a fun comic.
And then I added it to my cart in Big Bad. I'm like, what am I doing? I don't need this. I'm trying to cut back. So I was like, I can't do this.
Did you see the I think it's called Rad Plastic, the Ninja Turtle toy book?
Yeah, I did. I did just see that.
I pre-ordered that. That looks pretty cool.
So I didn't look into all that. Is that just like kind of like a toys? Like a toys I didn't make it out, or like a history of.
From what I saw, it looked really, really cool, man. I just saw like a little. I'm not gonna lie, I looked at like 2 pages and I was like, bot.
You were hooked. You saw the cover.
Yeah, that was it. It just it's just big text. I was like, that looks good. No, it looked like it showed the anatomy of like the original Krangbot or something, like how it was constructed and stuff. I was like, I'm in. I'm doing
That's cool.
Yeah. So I don't know what it's all about yet, but it's a pre-order. So if you guys want to check it out, or if y'all know anything about the Rad Plastic book, you can shout out in the comments there, because I'd be interested to know a little more about what I'm going to be buying. That always helps.
So with physical comics lately, I've been all digital because physical, I have not gotten through all of the physical books that I have. So I made it a point to be like, look, once I make it through all the physical like comics that I have, then I can, or like art books or whatever, then I can go back to like buying them or whatever. Because right now I have like a stack of books that I haven't even touched yet, like art books, comics, whatever. And that's just a way for me to limit what I buy and
no, like absolutely. Esteban did say, it's from the comic games. I think that's what that big one you were talking about. That
hell yeah.
So so that Predator actually might have a backstory.
Sweet. They're doing that the Alien and Predator thing as much love as Ninja Turtles. So I can't complain about that.
You mean the video game stuff?
I mean, just all over in terms of just like let's with Ninja Turtles, are like, let's do comics, let's do video games, movies.
Yeah,
it seems you're doing that or giving that kind of same love to the Predator stuff.
Man, have you ever seen so Ryan grabbed me this. I didn't want to. I just couldn't bring myself to pay full price for this set, even though as badly as I wanted it because my video game collection goes.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the Dutch from the video game, the figure?
No, I haven't. Oh my gosh.
This guy has
he's been awake for a while.
He's seen everything. This guy right here is like, this looks like when you show up and it's like, hey, do you guys have Coke Zero? They're like, all we have is Pepsi.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah. Look,
that poor guy.
I don't know what happened, but
he lost lost all of his friends and family.
He lost everything. I can't tell because if like you look at him like from like right here, it almost looks like his eyes just aren't painted yet. So maybe something. I can't tell what went wrong here because it's pretty. The eyes are painted, like the slits are super like, but they're like super tiny. Like this dude, like you say, just woke up. That's that guy. What's that meme where it's like the settlers like, hey, cleared out that settler establishment before it's 3 a.m. They're like, what the hell? It's like, what are you waking me up for?
That's when all the trumpets are going off at camp, and he's like,
what is it? You said we would get some sleep. Mesa Demon 149 said, yo, what we making? I'm working on a custom, which is rare for me. Ori, what are you working on again? Is that?
I'm working on the Bandai Star Wars model kit of General Grievous.
Which
so this is actually not my first time working on this. I got this. This was probably my first model kit that I put together in 2016, back when I started collecting. But I had no idea what I was doing back then. So I was like, trying to snap apart these with like my hands. I was like, I had like nail clippers to get through. So it's like it's been holding on for dear life, that first one on my prequel shelf. I was like, you know what, I have my life in a little more order now. Let's see what we can
Let's go. That's awesome. Yeah, I've heard actually he's the way to go. I bought the Black Series one just because I think he finally popped back up and I got him and I was like, I don't really hate it. But I'm not like, I don't know, man. The last thing I know anything about is Star Wars accuracy.
Right.
Like I can look at something and be like, oh, that's what the character looks like, or that's what the actor looks like. You know, I can pick up on that. But like Ryan and them is like, oh, the Mandalorian helmet's wrong. I'm like, okay. I mean, they're probably right, but to my eyes, I'm like, I don't care. It looks look a cool helmet.
As long as it has the essence of the character to you, you're like, I'm good.
I was okay. Yeah. Now the Boba Fett one, I definitely had to like squish that one. I was like, damn, this looks like.
Yep.
like the Sarlacc bit down on his head and was like, oh
yeah,
and he just stayed
Everybody
there.
Did.
Yeah, that was
Everybody
wild.
did, man. Yeah,
that was pretty wild. But other than that, yeah, I don't know anything about Star Wars accuracy. That stuff I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking at. So Grievous seemed cool for me in Black Series format.
Yeah, for sure.
I was alright, but
sure.
But yeah, from what I heard, what you're dealing with is like that's the way to go.
Yeah, this guy's awesome. Like he's like the right. I mean, like he's a little bit taller.
Yeah.
Than the Black Series one, which I like. I just I like a really big imposing Grievous.
Yeah, I can see that too.
That's a lot of fun.
Just a dirty coughing robot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, damn, you okay?
I was like, Obi, do you really have to fight this guy? Like, just give it like another day or two.
Yeah, just wait a while.
Heal over. Yeah, after old age, it's fine.
If you just wait a while, that Grievous is gonna die.
Yeah.
And you're done. That's easy.
Cough out a lung, you'll be good to go.
Poor Grievous.
He'll be fine.
He'll
survive.
He didn't choose that. What's up, Enrique G? Oh man, Super Spike 13. What's going on? Oh my gosh, we got Robert Leon's in here. Happy Monday. Happy Monday right back to you, man. Absolutely. Yeah, Super Spike 13 said, gotta just snatch the parts off the sprues with your teeth. That's the best way.
Yeah.
That's it. That's right. You're right.
Chew it up and spit it out.
Just bite into it as hard as you can.
It's like, oh no.
Oh man, I'm trying to. You know what I really should have done is printed out a picture of the of the wolf predator. Oh wait, well I guess I can use this. I do have this full body figure right here because I need a reference as to what I'm building. You know, as most people.
Yeah.
It helps.
You're not special.
Yeah, I'm just gonna build a house from just memory.
Yeah.
Looks good. Is it supposed to be circle? No. Oh. Well, congratulations on your new circle house. I remember, so I'd originally taken this figure. I remember I gotta show you here, see, because you can only see this camera, and they can see this camera and that camera. So I want you to be in the conversation.
You just prioritize me. I'm fine.
Yeah, this works for everybody. Here, I'll put here we go. You guys can look at this advertisement. This advertisement for me.
Advertisement.
That's a sticker. That's too damn bright that you can't read. Anyways, this is the original one here, and I remember where I was stripping all these parts off, and so this is the base that I'm using that looked, I thought, pretty decent. It's got all this webbing and stuff like that. So we'll be attaching all this stuff. It's a pretty nice base. And this hand right here is actually from these figures. So I hollowed it out completely. And I don't know if I permanently attached this thing. Oh man, I did such a good job. That sounded horrible. I did a good job on it. I was like, man, this feels factory. I literally, man, I'm gonna have to see how I did that. But I attached this arm right here, which I thought was pretty cool. And I'll be make this hand swappable here with the original figure's hand. So he's got a gripping hand in that hand, a cool open hand in that hand, or a arm, and see what else we can do here. I want to say the last thing I was doing was I was working on these. These are his legs here. And
okay.
So they have to fit here. So that's going to be, I want to make, obviously, the knees double. And
it was single originally, wasn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, it was. And now I'm trying to think about how I was planning on doing that. I'm sure that sucks. This sucks whenever you get to that point. That's probably why I stopped. You know, you get to the point where like you've got like the single joint or whatever, and then you've got to make it double joint, which usually if you just swapped them out, no big deal. But it is a big deal when they share the same mechanism. If this was like slotted, we could have just slot that in. So what I'm probably gonna have to do here is, I imagine, cut off a piece like this piece here. I imagine we're gonna have to cut that off and attach it permanently somehow.
So at this point, how many figures are going into that figure?
I think just definitely 2, maybe 3.
Okay.
Maybe 3, because like I said, he sent me 2 of these. A lot. This is a lot of the stuff that I would fix for him. He'd send me like old NECA stuff or a ton of Hellboy stuff. Of Hellboy stuff. So it's kind of cool. I used to repair so much stuff for him. And he gave me the trade of a century. You want to talk about a homie trade? He traded me when I first got the Gomez. This is my first Gomez I ever bought. Was the Gomez of was it House of the Golden Dragon? Is that
like the Bruce Lee one?
The yellow suit?
Yeah.
What he's got the yellow like hoodie suit.
Oh, okay. Not the.
Okay,
not
so
the Bruce Lee,
I'm not sure whichever one that one was. He was like a yellow ninja, and I got it, and I was like, this is cool. Comes with a lot of cool parts, but I don't know, man. And he hit me up, and me and him were just kind of shooting the breeze or whatever. And he was a big Mezco collector at the time, and I was like, man, the one I want, the one I really want is the Lone Roach and Grub, which was out of the question at the time. You know, that's when Gomez took off from the very get-go. But that was like, you know, we're already way in it, no big deal. And he's like, oh, I'll trade you.
Oh, that's cool.
I was like, what? And he's like, it's not about the money sometimes, man. I was like, dang, dude.
Man.
Yeah. So I tried that. So there's another reason why. Like, dude was just a good dude. Seems like a really kick-ass father to his kid. And I don't know. He's just one of those really good dudes. So that's just something that I'll never forget. It's one of those action figures that, like, now that I have that figure, like, I would never get rid of that.
Right.
There's a few figures that have, like, sentimental value to me now that, like, I just, like, Johnny gave me the Arkham Grundy. And that's another one it'll just never leave my collection no matter what. Even as big and cumbersome as he is, it's a beautiful piece, and it came from his heart. So I was like, yeah, I'm not getting rid of that. That's just not gonna happen. Every now and then you get those. I don't have a whole lot of those figures, but maybe like there might be like maybe, I don't know, 10 or so, something like that. Like you just can't.
Yeah, those I feel like really ground your collection too, because you know we get so much stuff. It can be so easy to just be like, oh, just another toy. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, let's see. We got a toy box of doom. What's up, man? Esteban said he got that cough from Windu giving him them hands. Poor Grievous. Julian said, "What's up, guys? Sorry I'm late. Hail King Ori. What the hell is that all about? When did you become king?"
Thanks, guys.
Wow.
Bow down. Just phase 1 of my plan to take over the channel.
Oh, that's cool. And then he asked me a question, so let's see if I can answer it, Julian. Bill, important question. Do you know of any at-home things I can use to loosen joints? Super glue is the only one I recommend. That's something that Ori was telling me I need to do, is try out the Kiki stuff and shoe polish or floor polish or whatever it is.
Yeah. Did he say to loosen or tighten?
Oh, he did say loosen. Don't use super glue to tighten.
I was like, is this a bit?
All right, bad advice. Do not use super glue to loosen your joints. I mean, you can break them real easy with it. So it depends on the figure, really. A lot of times what I do is I would heat them up, and let's just assume it's one of these like these double knees or whatever. What I would do in that situation is heat it up and then just put a small flathead screwdriver in between, kind of wiggle those around, and a lot of times that'll loosen it up just enough. Like that's a good way to loosen up NECA figures, like if the paint's too thick or any kind of figure really. Marvel Legends as well. I'd have to know what joint it is that's tight, but chances are I would have to use that method on just about every joint. The only thing I wouldn't recommend it on is a hard plastic ab crunch. I have no idea if it's one of those, old ones. I don't know what the hell you would do in a situation like that. That seems like it'd just be a nightmare. Just throw it in the garbage.
Now, do you prefer to using like a heat gun? Do you like using water more? I feel like a heat gun is your preferred.
Heat gun's mine. Yeah, heat gun's mine. It's because of it's precision and speed for me, because now I know how to use it properly. Hot water is amazing though. That works really well. Man, Anthony showed me something super cool. He brought me some amazing prints of some things. Oh, guys, these things they're unbelievable. I don't want to show them off. I definitely don't want to show them off because the Plunderlings just showed up. Because one of them is a special gift for Ricky. And it's going to be
surprise.
Amazing. Yeah, I told him I'm making something. But Anthony showed me that these 3D prints was really cool. You can just put them in hot water and you can pull those little supports off like nothing.
That's
super
nuts.
Fun. Yeah, super fun. That was really, really cool. Plunderling said, I broke a lot of action figures as a kid using super glue to try and make the joint stiffer. That's crazy because I didn't know about that trick until like my late 20s.
To try to make what? Stiffer?
Joints.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like action figure. I'm like, he said I can leave. Please don't leave. God, no, don't leave. No. It'll make it more fun to show these off when they're complete. Yeah, it said Mesa Demon said I remember reading people using dish soap, but that might be BS. That sounds like a mess.
So much BS, man.
That sounds like a mess. Julian's wanting Mafek's Captain America ball joints. Ooh, is it the waist? I'd be interested to see if it's the waist, because I'm pretty sure somebody wants to send me one that the waist broke already. Mafex is having a bad time with waist joints, guys. Like,
yeah,
it's getting crazy now. I don't know. I had to fix a Superman just the other day. It wasn't the waist joint, but I fixed a lot of those. But it was the shoulder joint that we've seen this a million times where it won't stay in, like in the side here, it just pops out of the hole. And what had happened was somehow his broke, and it was a delicate fix, but it's the way the engineering works. It's kind of funny. It actually holds a repair in place really well because of got a square, like it's got like a rectangular bit on it that connects down to the hinge, and then the peg goes up and goes into the shoulder. So when you slide that bicep casing over it, it almost protects it from trying to twist off of the piece inside. It's very interesting. But what I found was all that needed to happen, that people are like, oh, it won't stay in. All you have to do is heat up the shoulder and the bicep area and pop that thing back in harder. I think that's the way you fix that problem. Because I went through all of this work and I was like, dude, the peg is thicker. There's no reason that it shouldn't be staying in, because I'm sitting there ready to ship this thing out. And the trick is always to twist all the way around. If you're replacing anything with a peg in it, you need to try to twist all the way around. Be very careful and mindful of that to make sure it's not twisting with it. But it also needs to, if you give it a little pull and you twist all the way around and at one point it pops out, something's uneven, something's off kilter.
Right.
But with this, it didn't make sense because I put a screw all the way down it, which means it's going to widen out that plastic a little bit. It should have went in and stayed. And man, I was like, you know what, screw it. I was like, just praying to God. I was like, please, because this repair was super delicate, but I was very, very pleased, almost surprised with how well it went, because I had millimeters to work with. And it just worked. It worked really well. I found the trick is whenever you're using the eye hook screws, if you don't have a lot of real estate when you're going inside of something like that, you shave the tip of the screw off. That way it's flat it gives you the thickest part of the screw instead of trying to go in from that little point. This is only if it's going to go up against something, like, I don't know, like a millimeter or two width. And so I put it in there, and it worked really fine. But I just found out that I took the whole thing apart and I pressed it in as hard as I could, the peg, and it went in, and I twisted it. It was perfect. Slowly, carefully pulled it out by like, grab some pliers, grab the piece that wasn't didn't pull the whole arm. You got to grab that little piece that you had, so it doesn't like yank the screw out because you're pulling too hard. But I popped that out and heated up so I put everything back in and it wouldn't go in again. So I heated everything up, popped it in, and it worked. And that thing was solid as hell. And then apparently I threw his box away, which didn't have anything in it, thank God. But I had to give him my Mafex Superman box. So if anybody's got a good Superman box, I will take that.
Man, I didn't realize how much like people that are really into Mafex really value those boxes.
Well,
when I was trying to sell some stuff online, they're like, "Oh, do you have the box?" Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Nah." They're like, "How will you mind taking off like $15 off of this?" I was like, "What? Come on."
You could be like, "How about I find somebody who will pay with that?"
Exactly.
Somebody will pay.
I get it. I know that. I know there's. I don't know. I feel like I didn't think inbox collectors for import figures was a huge thing.
I think that's the one. Those are the only packages I don't get rid of.
Yeah.
And now that I've lost the Superman one, maybe it's time.
This is your sign that it's not worth it.
When I threw away my NECA turtle boxes, I threw away my original boxes, even the black and white set box.
Oh wow, yep.
It felt amazing, and I don't care. It's not about the money. I do not care about the money at that point. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I bought these because I wanted them.
They're just cool pieces too. Like I still have those musical Turtles boxes and the first the box set for the 1990.
Yeah,
that first one that came out. They're in my closet.
Yeah, some of them look. Man, I might have kept that. I might have kept the film Turtle. I definitely kept the big set from the first cartoon set. That box set is dope, dude. It's like the old carrying cases whenever I was a kid. I was like, all right, so it's plastic and stuff. I was like, that's an art piece. Mezco boxes, that's another one I don't get rid of, but it's still, man, it gets to the point where you're like, what are we doing here? Why? Are you keeping that because you want to sell it? Or now I do get it. Sometimes there's things that you want to keep things in the, like if it came with a cape or something like that, or something stupid that you didn't like, and you replaced it with a fabric cape and you kept that in there. Or I understand with import boxes that sometimes if I'm not ready to put things up yet, it's nice to have all those little pieces, in their box. But man, I look in my closet and I'm like, it's just full of boxes. Like, what am I doing? I don't know, man. I don't know. I get them
back in college when I first started collecting, literally our hallway closet. I stole that from my two roommates and I dedicated that to all my action figure boxes. What are you doing, man? I was like, I don't want. And these weren't even just import boxes. These were so there were Legends boxes in there. There was some stuff that I could get at Target. I had to keep them. What am I gonna do when I move?
What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need them.
I need these.
I need.
Let's just. We're ending it there. I need them. So okay.
I need them. Yeah.
All right. It's like,
why do my toy boxes smell like Dos Equis? Get them out of our closet.
Get out of my closet. Get out of it. Man, yeah, I don't know, dude. That's I can't fault anybody for keeping that stuff at all, because trust me, I've been there. But I do.
The fine line between being a collector and being like a pseudo hoarder.
If you have I don't know, man. So I don't have any kids, so cool. I can kind of pack some stuff away or whatever. But if I had a bigger house, and I could imagine, could you imagine having an entire room that you and either your friends or your lady or significant other could enjoy another room, and it's just full of your boxes?
Oh my
it's
God.
not even a collector room. It's just oh no, that's a storage box. That's a box room. It's man, I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
If you got the room, I guess whatever. It's your life, but eesh, it seems.
So there's a series. Well, okay, so there's a YouTube channel that I watch. he's a really big Transformers collector, mostly Bobby Skullface, and he has this series called Collector Critique, where people send in pictures of their like collector rooms, and like, you know, like their shelves and all their figures and everything. And with their objective opinion, you know, or subjective, sorry, their subjective opinion, they're just like kind of like critiquing like your setup and everything. And it's really interesting because like a lot of people are just like, it's really interesting seeing a lot of people's setups, because I don't think a lot of people, I don't know a lot, but there are some people that are just kind of like, I have this space, let me just put toys in it. And then there are people that approach it as like, you know, this is like interior decorating almost. Like I got to make this, like it's part of my home. I should make it feel like, you know, not just like crowded and cramped and everything like that. So I feel like it's, again, it's that fine line of being like, I have the space, I want to buy as many cool toys as possible. But at the same time, how do I make it to where it looks nice?
It looks nice. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's where it starts getting to the point where like, it's one of the biggest deals, and I've learned this, and I'm trying to correct my mistake, is too much is too much. That's all there is to it. Too much is too much. That's why it says too much, because it's too much. So it's like you need space. Your figures need room to breathe. I mean, I guess if it makes you happy, cool, and you don't care, then you don't care. Me personally, I have like all my figures in here. It feels like they're like nuts to butts, and I'm trying to like spread that out as much as I can now, because I can't do scenes. And I was like, I kind of want to do like, you know, just every now and then, you know, a display setup, you know. Yeah, Super Spike's like, wait, it's supposed to look nice. Yeah, you know, it's hard. It's hard. I don't know.
It is, because, you know, like we're already not that we're like displaying for other people, right? But like there are so many people that I know that aren't collectors, right? That I invite into my home, that like see my stuff, and they're always like, I don't collect toys, but like what you have here looks cool. Yeah. And you have it set up in such a way that I don't feel like I'm like, it's already a hard sell to people who don't collect, to be like, look at this room full of toys that I have. Yeah. And I always approached it to where I'm like, yeah, like this is like, I want it to look nice. Like the presentation is important to me, not only for other people, but mostly for me.
Yeah, you have a very nice setup in there. There's a lot of fun that happens up on the top shelf with all the because you found a really awesome way to like mix, you know, the different genres together, which I thought was really clever and fun. And not just in like, I don't know, it's not, like I said, very clever ways. Every way is clever there. I love like the Tigger and Michael Jordan is one of my favorite things, I think, in your that's one of my favorite bits in there. It's like those two playing ball together. But also the way you, and I always say this, how you build your displays up, like they blossom. And that's really impressive to me, the blossom effect, because it's, for me, I stand them on there, I'm like, tall guys, like it's like a third grade school picture. It's like tall kids in the back. It's like, all right, and then like the new kid shows up. New kid shows up and he's in the front. And I'm like, man, why is he here? Yeah, that's what I want to do, is get rid of a lot of that stuff. And like I said, I honestly at this point, what I've been doing is moving a lot of figures into boxes, and I wrap each one individually, and I'm seeing who I miss. I'm giving it a little time, and if I miss something, I'm like, oh, that was in a box. So I haven't sold.
It's a process. It's a process for sure. I remember when I first started, I was kind of frustrated because like I was like, okay, I want to have like an Avengers shelf, I want to have an X-Men shelf, I want to have like these characters, these worlds, whatever. And it was frustrating at first because like either like I didn't have the figures to build out those shelves completely, and it wasn't looking as nice as I wanted it to. And I was like, man, I don't know. I even got to a point where like there was a bit where I was like trying to see if I could just buy stuff just to fill out space or whatever. But you know, it's a process, whether you're like scaling back or trying to fill it up in the first place.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a tough process to go through too. Like, cause you're like, man, it's so much. It gets to that point where it's overwhelming. That's where like my friend Bob right now, that's who I need to, and you know Bob, but for those of you that don't, That's kind of where he is right now. He's got a ton of stuff. He's got a bunch of badass stuff too, but he's like, ugh. He's like, I just, I got to buy stuff, and that's another problem being a collector. I think is that we run into that issue where we don't want to. A lot of us don't want to catch up. We don't want to play the catch up game. We want to be current. We want to have what's new. We want to have what's fresh, and we don't want to have to. There's that we've seen. I think too many of us have seen the risk where it's like you missed out on something, right? The FOMO, yep. Where it's like, man, I wish I would have bought that. Sure, wish I would have bought that because now look at it. Now I can't get it unless I pay a crazy amount of money. And for me, I am not the person that's going to pay a crazy amount of money. I'm not going to get it. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to do that. And at least I can live with that. But it still sucks when you see it and you're like, there's that regret,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that does suck.
Yeah, the regret is the huge thing.
Yeah, because it eats at you. I mean, and I get it. It's probably some kind of mental disease. I'm sure there's there's something there, but it's
hoarders. I'm telling you, the hoarders are a lot of us.
I think who was it that said something a minute ago? Somebody was like, "Oh, Mesa Demon was like, we're hoarders with style."
There you go.
I imagine every hoarder says that.
I don't know. I can stop anytime I want.
Okay. Well, why don't we get rid of this then? Get your hands off it!
Just stop!
What are you doing? Stop! Do you know how?
I asked this in the Discord. By the way, everyone joined the Discord.
I should link it, but I don't know if I have it open.
I asked everybody. I was like, so what are the amount of figures that you bought this year? And I said it relatively low. I basically was like 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and the highest was like 40 plus.
Easily 40 plus, dude.
You and I and then one other person, the only people who love toys, the only people who actually care
who have a
about
problem.
This hobby.
Yeah.
To buy 40 plus toys this year so far.
That kind of blew my mind because I was like, well, duh.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, I don't even have to count. I know that. Like, I bought what? Just the Build-A-Figure of like Korg. What was that? Like 6 figures or whatever? 5, 6? I'm like, well, that's already done. And I started looking around. I'm like, and all the freaking Ninja Turtles that came in, I went all in on Plunderlings. Like, I bought a lot of toys already. Yeah, I was like, so I need to get rid of some stuff. Because it's like, I don't have a Plunderling shelf yet. They're just scattered about my room, which works. But I want the shelf. I want to put that boat that you got me in there. I want to build like a beach setup. I have a cool little dock that's already built, actually. And something like that would just be fun. And those bring me a lot of joy. So that's where I'm kind of at right now. Where like, what figures are really, what am I having the most fun with? And what stays fun, I guess. And, there's just a few lines that are definitely doing that for me. And that's what I want. I want those, that's what I want.
Plunderling imports.
That's it. That's literally all. That's and NECA. NECA really.
And NECA, yep. NECA and the occasional Thor figure.
Yeah, dude, you should see the box. I boxed up my Thor figures because I'm going to make a shelf for them, like specifically for Thor.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do it. I don't think I can do one shelf. It looks like it's a 2 shelf now.
You're going to do a multi-Thor shelf, huh?
That's 2 shelves.
You're going to make a Thor core? Is that what you're trying to do?
I don't know what that means.
a core of Thors.
A Thor court?
A Thor corp?
Yeah, dude, I was like, man, just looking at them all, but it was really fun to watch the evolution of Thor. I do have that original Thor figure too, the one with the bleached eyebrows.
Oh man, that's Kevin. That's one of the few things Kevin Feige regrets in the MCU.
I agree with
him. He's like I stand by that first Thor movie. He's like it's like for what it is. He's like, I think it's a really good setup for the character of Thor.
Yeah. That's me talking. Sorry about that. No, yeah, and he ain't wrong. The movie was good.
I like that movie. I stand by it. I think it's underrated. I think, especially now, seeing how far that character has come, I think people would appreciate that first movie more if they go back and watch it now versus when it first came out.
Oh, absolutely. And the Destroyer was cool. I like it. I liked everything. I liked everything except for Kat Dennings. I didn't like her at all.
And then she was worse in Thor 2. But I liked her in WandaVision, and I liked her in What If.
I didn't hate her in WandaVision. You know, I was like, okay. As soon
as she showed already a cartoon, so I'm like, yeah, she fits in in the animated and in the sitcom setting. Doesn't help that Kat Dennings also was on a sitcom for a period of time.
You know, not everybody on a sitcom is just. They're not. God, she's always the same character. It's rough for me.
I like the quote in What If when she's talking to Captain Marvel. She's like, Darcy, you're like at a 10. I'm gonna need you to bring it down to like a 4.
Dude, that was me. That was me every time I saw her. I was like, get her out of here. I was like, why is she there? And I was like, oh, she didn't have to be that annoying because I watched her in WandaVision. I was like, dude, she's got like a lot of heart. Like, that's really cool. Like, I don't know. Could have been better. I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll never see her again. I feel like I've lost Ori. Is the chat still going on? I feel like I signed into the chat and then it like killed it. We'll see what happens, guys. We're just going to keep going. Looks like the live counter's still going. Shoot me a message if you can hear me or if something else has happened because it looks like it's still streaming on my end. Oh, mercy. Oh, no! Huh. Now you get big face. And that's a small... I think we lost Ori. We lost Ori. Oh. Today, we're building a wolf predator, kind of, out of this. We'll see what happened with Ori. We'll try to get him back on. I want to see what do you guys think happened? Weather's not that bad. Watch, it's gonna be funny. He's gonna show up. He'll show up in the chat and be like, "Hey guys." Pay no attention to that back there. That's nothing. Sorry, Julian, you lost him. The king has fallen. Bet he lost internet completely. Well, it's just us now, guys. R.I.P. Oh man, I need a figure of Ori now so I could put him here. It'd be kind of weird, huh? Why don't we could put like, I need like, oh man, I wish I had another little tripod. Oh, okay, hang on. Flex it. Here we go. Just so it's like, in memory of. Let's see. I don't know if do I got like a little clip I could put up here? I don't have like a clamp or something. I need like something that, oh, here we go. A little sticky tack will probably do it. All right, cool. We're back. It's just me and you guys and Krang. Damn you, turtles! That's what he says. He sounds like that. Isn't that right? That's how Krang sounded like in the old one, right? He was always like, I'm gonna get you, turtles. Ah, that was pretty good. For any of you guys that remember Ninja Turtles, I bet that just triggered a whole bunch of fun memories of Krang. Or you kind of want to throw up now because it was so terrible. All right, let's get back to it. I don't think I've done anything with this thing. I've just been sitting here like bending the knees constantly. Honestly, what I've been doing here is trying to remember where I was on one of the arms. I feel like I'm missing an arm. you can see here where I attach this wrist, and this one doesn't have the blades in it. This one here does, and I thought I had another one of these, but maybe I don't. I'm trying to see if there's like a left hand somewhere. Excuse me, a right hand. Don't believe there is. Oh well. Got heads, I've got gun parts. Alright, so with that, I guess what I'll have to do, I'm going to heat this up while we're on here. Oh, dude, yeah, so this is what I did. I had heated up the previous one on this figure here, and I shaved it, hollowed it out, and popped it on so it fits. So that's what we're going to do with this one. We'll see if Ori can hop back on with us. If not, we had a good hour at least with him. Gotta love it when it goes live, guys. I love Ori and everything, but if that would have happened while I had Ricky on here, I would have cried. I'm not gonna lie. That would have sucked. Alright, so I've just heated this. Billy, do you know anything about anatomy? I guess a little bit. I'm not like a scientist or anything like that. I wouldn't... Ooh, I think there's blades in here. What the heck? You could always ask your question, though, Julian. Krang, what are you working on tonight? He's just being... He's quiet right now. I think he's sleeping. I think he might sleep with his eyes open. He sleeps with his eyes open and he looks hella angry all the time. Man, I feel like... Feels like there's blades up in this thing, and I don't know how they work. Now, I do have some claws that I got cast from Corey over at Casting Cave a long time ago, specifically for this custom, because they tend to break a lot, and I didn't want them to break. And so I think I got some short ones, and I got some long ones, just so we have the option, because this clearly has some kind of mechanism in it to where the blades pop in and out, and it looks like they're all the way down in the arm. So I'm going to see what we can do here. I'm going to heat it up. I just need to get this thing removed, and I'm also very interested as to see like what this looks like once we get it out of there. I'm trying not to break anything, but it's like really hanging on. Let's see if we can't. We're going to have to be really careful here. See if I can keep the integrity of the sculpt intact. And so what I usually do is I'll heat it up, and I use, this is like a custom screwdriver, like punch, kind of do, if you can see it. And it looks like so. It's just very, very sharp. This thing is super sharp. This is actually my grandfather's, man. It's one of the tools he's had probably for decades. And it's just, like, never broke. So it's kind of cool to have it. Or maybe it did break forever ago, and then he turned it into a punch. That's what we do a lot of times. We just make our own, like, punches and picks. Just because you can make them as sharp as you want. You can make them as sturdy or as short as you want. And, yeah, you just use like a good old table grinder. You can grind them down. I've told you guys about that before, but for those of you that are new, something that if you ever hear me say a punch or a pick, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's flexing. We could actually change it up. Yeah, let's change out Krang. Next guest tonight. Sorry.
You'll regret this.
Okay, yeah, I bet I will. Get out of here, you nasty brain. let's put some fun. Let's have some fun with let's do this. Here we go. Let's put up the best plunderling in honor of our plunderling guest in here. Let's put up the best plunderling to exist. Let's see if we can't. How about this? How about we come in from this side? Little Maruski bear here. Yeah, look at that. Got himself a paintbrush. Having a good time swinging around. Let's put him right here. How about that? Don't want you to fall, little guy. There we go. Self a paintbrush. How about we stick that through his legs? Like grab it on to it. Oh, look at that. Stayed on. Because those are well built. I feel like that's falling. Come on, Maru. I think this this thing's not meant to stay over here. You're not even that heavy. Alright. Pretty good. Pretty good. I think we're gonna do that. Alright. Let's heat this up. See if we can. Got it. It just came out. Alright, let's check this out. So I just got this guy off here. It popped off finally. And what I was doing there earlier, as you saw, I was kind of cutting around the edges like so. And let's look at the inside here. Look at this arm. I think these are definitely broken though. Or he said his internet went out. Poor guy. R.I.P. guys. R.I.P. Where the hell did those go? I just popped out the claws. Oh, there we are. So you can see like these old ones here. Let's bring our light in a little bit. Go through this again. Man, I can't believe that won't like focus. Where you at? Come on. Come on. God dang it. Alright, well anyways. The pieces are stuck together like so, and they just jam into the this piece right here, the gauntlet. And it's got two little slits, as you can see right there. There's two little slits. And basically, they fit it from the back so it can't be plucked out. You know, so it can't come out the front. Unfortunately, it doesn't really matter because these things break all the time. So, like I said, I had Corey cast me some up a while back. This happened a long time ago. Let's take a look at some of these. These are really cool. Really, really cool. He actually did them in these really cool kind of silvery, kind of plastic colors. And I've got a couple of them in here, but technically we could put these back in, or what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to cut this. We have to see how this works, because this is the new mechanism here. And you can see that these work pretty well. This is like the newer NECA style. I don't know if there's like a different style now, but yeah, so they go straight in and back. I don't know if this comes off or not. It does not. But before, you can see they had, look at this gap in the arm here. Let's see if I can show that too. Where's that hitting at? There we go. I wish it would just focus for me. Maybe we can turn it. Hang on. Let me turn this to video. It's a little bit better, huh? Okay. So you can see this huge gap here where these would slide in like so. But you got no elbow movement, nothing like that. So, kind of boring. So, what we're wanting to do with that is I got to figure out something kind of clever. And what I'm thinking is that we could cut a piece like that so they could go in and out, because right now this isn't built the same way. You can clearly see this is our one that we have to attach, and this is our old one. You can just see that they don't have the room. They put this up much higher to accommodate, the claws. So what we can do though is Dremel out the what we're gonna do is we're gonna Dremel out the arm, I guess. We're gonna have to actually attach part of an arm to it. And let's see what we can do here. Man, I wish I had some that were already cut. I thought I did. Let's just put these from behind. Let's just see what happens while we're here. So they go from the bottom up to the top. Golly, it's weird. Hang on, let me get these to open up a little bit. Come on. Come on. I'm trying. I want to break these too. Oh man, yeah, you would really have to jam these in there hard. Okay, so I guess what we can do is just go ahead and split these. That'll be fine. And I bet you anything I can plug them in. My fear, the thing that I'm afraid of is like, I don't want to put them in there and then be like just jangling around in there. So what we might have to do is fix something to where they stay relatively stiff in place. But yeah, I can't really put these in right now because they have to go, basically what they did before was they kind of went down whenever you pushed them back in. So yeah, gosh. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying or getting something out of this. I know this is not what I, hey-oh, look at that. I can't pop them in. Boom, look at that, all the way in. Okay, so right now, let's see. All right, so if we were to push them all the way in, that's what's happening. If you want to push them all the way in, this little piece right here was basically hiding. Where's my arm? Here's my arm. Let's see how deep this went. See what I mean? So you could push it pretty far, I guess, right about there. But oh man, actually I think that went even further in. Just kind of messing around right now. All right, yeah. That's cool and all. That's cool that, I mean, they fit really nice. That's really cool that the old ones still fit. But like I said, what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to slice this in order to attach this arm to here. And also I got to figure out, I need to talk to Jaime actually about this. I'm looking at this figure and I'm seeing a few discrepancies. For one, the wolf predator has bare thighs except for these straps, and this predator doesn't. These are very like fishnetty. It's got very fishnetty thighs. It's got netty thighs. So, my camera looks so fuzzy. Looks so fuzzy right there. Anyways, yeah. So I don't want to like undo their work here, and I damn sure don't want to sand that down. So I don't know. I have to see if he's cool with like me keeping like keeping the fishnet here, then I think we're good. But if he wants this completely accurate, we might be in for a problem. But we can get it all done and up to that point at least, because we got a lot of stuff to attach. The biggest deal right now, like I said, is the arm attaching isn't a big deal because we can. It's not as convenient to do that. Oh, you know what'd be cool? What would be cool is I bet I could put like some kind of magnets in here, and so when I pop them in, it goes, it just attaches them in. It would, I don't know, that might be a little too ambitious right now. Okay, Sorry, getting sidetracked. Another thing I need to look at is the right hand. So here's our right hand from here's our right hand from the OG, which would pop into here. But this is our new wrist. So let's see what we're looking at here. What we need is a kind of a crater almost put in here. And it looks like we might need to go in a little further. I'm not sure what hand was on here originally. It's kind of weird because it's so damn like... So on the original, look at this. It's kind of crazy. So this attached here, it's got a tiny peg hole right there. And then on this one, it's got a giant hole. And so that's where this hand went in here. And then I'm assuming... I don't know what hand went on the left side. I don't know if I have it. I got a bunch of predator feet. It'd be this one. So this is what the right hand was like. This is like old school McFarlane. Like, look at the differences in these pegs. So you got this little one here, and then this big one here, and this goes to the same figure, which is really odd. That's a thing. But anyways, we have to find a way to make that fit. And since this has got that new articulation, it's got a rounded kind of ball end right there. What we'll probably do is we've got to drill further in, and that's going to further like complicate, quote unquote, what we've got to do to make this fit in properly with the blades. So what I have, let's see what we got here. I'm going to look for we're about to do some grambling. Should have one nearby. I'm looking for my bigger burr bit. Oh, actually I know where it's at. I had to use it on my Dremel 4000 the other day because I was working on another custom, and this is bananas. You guys want to see something crazy? This is another one of my final ones. This is for my friend George. This is a classic, one of the classic Resident Evil. This is like William Birkin from Resident Evil 2. And so I gave him thigh swivels. He didn't have thigh swivels before. I guess I can actually do it like this so he's not upside down, huh? So he's got thigh swivels now. I gave him wrist joints that swivel, turn, pop. They're like basically Revo wrist joints. Gave him the same thing with elbow joints. And then I attached like this old wrestling arm right here. This can attach to this arm. And then I had to make a special joint for the eyeball part that broke off. It's got this little mechanism where the eyeball can move around and look at you and whatnot. And what I had to do was I had to sculpt over this because this piece was broken. And now there's a screw in here with a peg, and it basically can turn. The only issue I ran into was that the only thing I have left to do, because obviously this thing needs sculpt and work and whatnot. This is all I was commissioned to do, was just get the thing put together. That's what I really enjoy doing, is putting the thing together. I don't want to paint it. I don't really want to sculpt it, honestly. But you can see here that I can't put the peg in because this eyeball is squishy. And this caused me a lot of grief. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole out here, which is why I was using the Dremel 4000. And I'm just going to lightly put it in there, covered in super glue, let the peg set. And once it sets, it'll turn, because it actually, like I said, turns here. I'm hoping that it'll be tight enough that it'll be nice and snug. Because what really sucks is that I managed to get this the perfect, and I mean perfect, distance to go inside and stay there and still turn. But the problem that I ran into was that the plastic was so thick here that you had to go in from an angle, pop it in, and I didn't have enough angle. Didn't have enough room. Sucked because I put a lot of work into that thing. So anyways, it's almost done, and we've got our rounded burr bit. There's a little history on that fun thing. Bill, did you get your Mafex endgame cap? If so, how do you like it? And could you read my other chat? Yeah, I love that figure. He's got a mountain of QC issues but not all the same. Like, I don't know. I've just seen different people with different problems. Me, for example, I had to resculpt the hair. Like, there was a freaking mold line all the way across the hair. You can see it on my Instagram. I was pretty pissed off about that. It came in and had this mold line all the way across it. So I had to shave it off, then cut it down, or sand it, cut it down, sand it, sculpt, repaint. Jeez. So yeah, that kind of sucked. But other than that, I really like him. I did that little butterfly joint trick too, that where you flip the cups around, take a piece off. It's all right. It works fairly well. So, Julian said, "Would you also read my other chat? I sent you a picture on IG. My Kit Bash Superman. I was wondering if it looked good. I will let you know after the stream." Yeah, Jen's Hieronymus. Yeah, absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. I was reading your name after I said that. Yeah, these do work like Wolverine's claws. What we're gonna do here is I'm gonna kind of shave a bit of a bowl shape out right here, and what that's gonna do is allow our wrist to sit flush in here. I'm sure you guys are familiar with this kind of engineering. Carefully go around the edges here. Right, you can see that it obviously took a lot of the paint and whatnot off at this spot, which is fine. That can always be repainted. It only took a little smudge right here. But also what we're gonna have to do is we're also gonna have to drill further in, because the peg on the one that we're using is way longer than the original peg. I believe it goes in about that far now. So we're just gonna have to drill a hole, and I'm gonna try to keep it as straight as I can, because if we maybe even angle it just a little bit down, because if I keep it in here, then I think we can maybe not conflict with the other pieces. Let's see what we got here. I think I've got my small. Yeah, here's my tiny burr. Nope, is this my tiny one? Yeah, I think it's my tiny burr bit. Let's make sure. Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, so what we'll do, yeah, we're gonna go in this hole here, and we're gonna try to stay down. That'd shoot a lot of plastic up, I bet. Ah, dang it. That's okay. Get rid of some of that. Let's see how well that fits at least. Now that I'm looking at it, I think this is the wrong hand. Doesn't matter, same size peg, but just to make sure. Let's see if this will go in. I sure should. I wonder if I went down. I wonder if I went down too far. Let's see. There we go. Oh, wow. Yeah. Thumbs up. I'm just afraid he's like gonna cut his wrist. Maybe he's got to put his hand down like that. So let's see if we can put our blades in while we've got the new hand in, which I do believe we can. I can't see the peg inside, so that's good. Let's see if the blades come out and... Cool. They don't touch the hand, which is really good. How far will these go out? Oh, there you go. Boom. That works really well. Ooh, look at that. You can really see what's going on now. Bam. Man, I might need to keep... I think Ori getting booted might have been I know Billy would be pleased with that. What are we talking about here, Cap? Captain McKay, everybody. Oh my gosh. Craig, what are you doing in here? Shouldn't you be asleep? Oh, wow. That's amazing. Good day, gentlemen. McFarlane has said 3 new Doom figures will be for pre-order tomorrow. It's a long shot, but I want demons to army build and not just Doomslayer variants. Oh, man. Oh, if he did like the Cacodemons and... Oh, I love those imp demons. Gosh, any of them, dude. Just do the big ones. Dude, big fellas, please. Yeah, the humanoids would be interesting too. Like, what was it, Shotgun Guy and those dudes? Oh, I can still hear that sound. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm working on a classic Doom guy right now for myself, but I decided I needed to put it on hold. I was looking around my room and I saw this, just this kind of glaring reminder of what my life used to be. In March, I hit 3 years sober. That used to be a big problem of mine, man. Was drinking was a terrible thing that I went through, and I don't touch this stuff anymore. I don't have any desire. I went through my phase, and that stuff is done. But I remember back in the day, there was like a lot of stuff like this would happen. You make promises, you know, you make big promise. Now, obviously, not this wasn't one of them, but it was a reminder of something that stuff that I used to do, and I was like, I need to make good on this. You know, even if he did just send me like fodder pieces and I told him I would do it, it's still one of those things where he would have been cool if he'd have been like, no, that's all right, don't worry about it. But something about this, there's something that like keeps nagging at me that, hey, you need to do this. This just, I don't know what it is. This is one of the projects that truly bothers me, that I just have sat on for so long, and I imagine it's still going to be with me long after this thing's gone. It's kind of an embarrassing thing when you take on something like this and you tell somebody, you know, a guy that you actually respect and you probably respected you, you know, and you just, after a while you like send them an update photo and they're like, I imagine it's in their head, they're like, oh yeah, that's cool, but it's like, yeah, I'll get to it whenever I get to it. Oh my God, you're in Indiana? Craig, that's where Christine was born. She was born up in Hammond. Not a lot of people would say congrats. But yeah, she was born in Hammond. Hammond, Indiana. Well, cool, man. That's you're in the States. You should have let me know, Craig. We would have went up there and saw you. I'll hug your neck, Craig. It'd be amazing. So this turned out to actually be a perfect Dremel. I don't know if it's muscle memory at this point, but I mean, look at this. We got no flop at all, and then I think you can probably hear it. Wait for it. Where's the speakers at? Let's sit. It's a fucking train. Wonderful. Don't you me. Ain't nothing. It's happening. It's gonna happen. So, Craig. But well, thank you guys. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. All right. So what I'm thinking of doing here with this hand would be, I think it's the simplest solution, honestly, would be just to put some sculpt in here, and I either want to put sculpt in there and just let it dry, and then I can Dremel my own piece, or what I can do is literally just put just a hunk of plastic in here to where it'll fit, and it'll turn just fine, which might actually be faster. Because like I said, what it's going to come down to with the blades is I'm not going to be able to get that same function out of this piece. It's just not meant for it. However, if I was to take some maybe and cut them here, we might be able to put them in a little ways. I don't know, man. It kind of throws me off because I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet. So I'm wary to like close off this slot until I really know what I want to do with it. because I think it looks really cool coming all the way out. I don't know if they come out that far, if they're supposed to come out that far, if they're more like this, or I do like the Predator, but I do not know the like I said, the accuracy of a Predator actually. So, but yeah, another thing I've got to figure out, and I think this is once again another situation where I'm just gonna have to basically, what I feel like I need to do is build onto this piece right here, since this is where our peg broke before, or was before. Clearly we can't just go all the way up like so, because his leg would be too short, right? Right? That's right? Yeah. Okay, hang on. Let me make sure I'm doing this right, because this could turn out to be easier than I expected, or just exactly what I expected, which would be more tough. I'm trying to judge the distance. Let's see. Let's go from the bottom here where the feet touch. Let's do it on this one. So if the feet are right here, that lines up the knee pretty well. Yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, these are correct. So this knee literally would have to be right here. About right there, I'd say. Yeah. So we're going to have to figure out a way to attach it to here, which I don't think is going to be too big of a problem. It's just going to be just kind of a butt ton of work. And I think what I can do is possibly, I'm trying to see what's the best bet. Usually the best bet what we have here is that these pieces are individual from the legs to allow the double joint to function properly. So the original ones have these are sculpted on. The knee pads were actually sculpted to the shins. There's no like line, there's no separation. So what we'll have to do is probably come in with a straight razor and kind of cut that, possibly resculpt, and then we'll take this piece and pop it up here, glue it on here to where it fits flush when it's sanding straight. So there's gonna be a lot of dremeling and work in this. It's fun to get back into it, but jeez, I forgot just how much work there was actually going to be going there. Yeah, right now Ori is actually being portrayed by Maru, because Ori was on here and his internet died, and said there's an outage in his area and he won't be online until like 10. So Ori sends his best. He was here with us for an hour. Poor guy got hit with internet outages. That sucks, man. So we don't fault Ori for people's mistakes. He's a good guy. But yeah, instead of changing like the whole setup or whatnot, I don't have that capability yet. Thanks for pointing that out, Cap. But no, it was funny, man. A minute ago he was on here and all of a sudden his hand was like frozen. So then I just decided, like, I noticed that I was sharing the screen, so I could just put up a little Maru here, and he can enjoy the day. So doesn't get to look at it, doesn't even get to be on camera. I love it. Let's see. Even like a little, oh, that's a sneak peek. Y'all don't know about that yet. We'll go put that back over here. Whoop. What's up, Nico? Yeah, so I need to figure out what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of been staring at this thing. I also need to, I think these are the feet. Man, he's got some, golly, some nasty. You're a nasty predator. I want to say I actually already shaved these down. Yeah, I did. I want to say I shaved these down so they would fit these bottoms of the legs here. And I can't remember if these are the pegs or not. What are we looking at? There's a peg in here. I know I made something for these, and I want to say they might be in another bag. But I thought these little pegs right here are the ones I would be using for their feet. They can pop in, and I think there's one in here. Yeah. So these guys right here, this will actually pop into this guy here in the bottom, and then pop into this guy, and it actually functions properly. So I went ahead and shaved both of those guys down. But that's where I'm looking at now. This is going to be just... I feel like I just keep procrastinating. I wish it was as easy as just like gluing this guy on, like shaving this off, putting this on, and cool. But then you got to think, oh, wait, this is supposed to twist. So we're literally putting male-to-male functionality here. So we have to cut that. Got to cut that out. So... trying to figure out what I want to do here. I feel like I said, I feel like if I was to do this, like almost like my almost like the McFarlane mods where you cut down and you could cut here. It's almost like I have to create some kind of new double knee. If not, then I'd have to like cut this out here and then sculpt either up the sides that go up rounded or I could potentially oh, what do you mean the meeting has ended after 40 minutes of idle time? That's cool. I paid extra for I pay extra for Zoom for like their extra calls, and now they're going to end after 40 minutes of nobody talking. Well, here's what we can do. I should have called this like the night the night of just crazy glitches. I don't think I've had this many. Oh, but what I was talking to you guys earlier, I want y'all to see this. Here we go. Since we do have the screen still saved, look at that. So this is like the new. It's like a book called Rad Plastic. Look at that, Rad Plastic art book, and it looks really cool, man. There's like these. Shows like these how they were built, how they were designed. Like, no, it's all Ninja Turtles. Like, look at that, the freaking like engineering of a turtle, which is super cool. Look at that, Mike Knight. All these really cool like designs and whatnot. Oh my god, I would love to have that, especially if I could change that to Donatello. But man, prototypes, all sorts of fun stuff in there. If you're a big turtle collector, I think this is going to be awesome. I think it comes out in June. It says June. And this is up for pre-order right now. It's like $60. So it's really your call on that one. But I think for a hardcover art book, let's see how many pages. 400 pages. That's pretty, I'd say that's pretty awesome. 11 by 11 inches, 1.8 thickness. Yeah, I think that's a really nice coffee table book. It looks super cool, and yeah, I would strongly suggest looking into that. I definitely have that on pre-order just because it looks awesome. And yeah, I don't know if you guys are into some new stuff or whatever. I just had a big old box of my freaking pile of loot, set it to ship. Oh, looks like they've got that Elvira figure, if any of y'all missed out on that. Oh, God, as a Transformer fan, this is killing me right now that I don't have this on pre-order, but it's the price. Which, it's Masterpiece, I get it, but man, I've wanted a freaking Trailbreaker for a long time. I love that dude. He's from G1, who's the freaking, like, camper truck with a camper trailer. Just so cool. But, ugh. Man. I don't know if Toy Migos had them on there or not, man. That'd be awesome if they did, dude. I feel kind of bad for not knowing, but I don't know. If so, I'd like to find that episode and check that out. But Anyways, some cool stuff coming up, guys. Oh, these was it the McFarlane like page punchers? These 3-inch cheap figures that come with like a comic book. I'm not gonna lie, man. If they do a what am I saying? An Aquaman, I'll buy it. I didn't know they were doing these deceased figures. I didn't know they were doing more. I have the Aquaman and I really like him. DC Essentials Unkillables Red Hood. Unkillables. I actually gave my DC Essentials to my friend Ryan. I wonder if he knows about this. Do they come with anything, or is it just like, that's it? Just nothing else? Nothing else. Wow. I can't believe these are coming out. Oh, so it says by McFarlane Toys and DC Direct. What's the story on that? Yeah, Jens, I know. They didn't do the yellow one. The yellow stripe. What the heck? I'm just kind of thrown off. I didn't realize that McFarlane got a hold of some of the DC Direct stuff. Huh. I hadn't heard about that. That's interesting. Unkillables. What a name. That's a really odd pairing right there. It's just strange to me. I had no idea that was going to be a thing. So I'm sitting here messing with this guy, and I'm thinking that it has the potential, if I was to cut the bottom of this off, flip this upside down, and cut the knee, I think I could make this a double knee joint. Like, cut it around like so, into here. Cut it. Hell, in fact, I could actually probably cut this piece down and fit this to where it sits flush as the knee joint. I don't know if that'd look weird or not, because this is the upper knee, so it might look kind of funky, but it might work. I don't know. I do have another one to test on, though, so if this actually doesn't work out, the cool thing is you know, at least we tried it. It's crazy that McFarlane actually decided to produce these. That's pretty wild. I wouldn't have thought he would have taken on more. I don't know who's gonna buy those. Like I said, I bought Aquaman, but it's because I'm an Aquaman fan. So those have got to be for specific fans right there, because the figures themselves, like those Essentials, was once again a good idea that went not so good. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to heat up this leg here. I want to see what it looks like. I'm going to heat this up, and then I'm going to looks like I'm going to have to cut off this yellow, because it looks like it's... I might be able to pry it out. Let's see. See if I don't have to cut it. See what happens. I don't think I read Deceased, actually. I read the beginning of Deceased, and then kind of fell out of it. I don't know, man. I've been reading some really, really cool kind of off-kilter stories lately. I read one called a book called Ice Cream Man. It's really dark, kind of Twilight Zone-y book, but was really, really fun. I read like the first volume of that, and then I read the first volume of a book called Once and Future. I think it's DC Comics. I could be wrong, but it's about this old lady who's a monster hunter, and she's teaching her her grandson about it, and he had no idea, and now he's grown, and he's like, "What the hell, Grandma?" And she's just kind of a no nonsense, like, this isn't a big deal to her, and it's a pretty good book. So Once and Future is pretty good. And then I read, what was it? That Texas Blood, which is really good. Could definitely see that being a TV show. So, yeah, like I said, I've been kind of off the usual here recently. Trying to. Looks like I can pry this guy out here. God dang, how deep does this go? Whew. This thing really goes down there. There we go. Oh, Craig says he enjoyed Deceased. It's held back by the characters being cookie cutter, alternate reality versions of themselves. But it's really good. The concept is really nice, but it does eventually descend into standard zombie stuff after a while. That's okay. Okay. I mean, that's fair review. If it's, if it's a good read, it's a good read. I do hate it whenever things kind of fall short, whenever it could have been pretty decent. So as we can see here, this leg looks to be just a little too long. The knee needs to rise up a bit. So I'm wondering if we were to all right, let's take a look here. I'm also probably gonna have to heat this leg up and bend it and then cool it so that it straightens out, because these figures were like bent or made with like bent legs, and that's really odd. But that's how they do things sometimes. Yeah, let's see. We've got. Gosh, it almost goes all the way up in there, huh? You can almost get away. Almost get away with like cutting a slit in the back here, and there's already a big chunk taken out due to that piece. But you could probably cut this piece down, like I was saying earlier, and get it to where this piece sets up. But when it bends down, my question is, what needs to be visible? And the answer to that question is this knee. And that's, I don't know if that'd look weird if you were to just cut that off and put it here, because it's pretty weird. I don't know, I might be able to fit it. I don't know. Like I said, these are the kind of jobs I kind of enjoy, because it's like you can get really, really creative and really crazy. But yeah, you can see just how far this needs to go from here to here. And if we did that, we're coming close. Which means if we were to use some of this, like I said earlier, to kind of make a little makeshift piece, it looks like what we would do. Actually, what we would do is probably still go ahead and cut this piece off right here. If we cut that off, this will cover up our knee joint. And then, yeah, that's what we're going to do. All right. Sorry, my brain's just kind of firing off. Get out our straight razor blade. Let's see, what time is it? 8:53. About time for me to... Almost time to call it a night. Right when I started getting to the good stuff, right? Sorry, that's how the process works sometimes. I sit there and I'm like, God, how do I... I mean, look at all this. This was hours of work alone. Doesn't look like it. Looks like I just ripped a bunch of pieces off, but you have to carefully take them off. And then these are shaved down. A lot are cut. A lot of times I end up thinking like, hey man, wouldn't it be cool if you could like put any hand on there from a Predator? And usually the client's like, yeah, that sounds awesome. But this is also why I don't do commission customs anymore, because I take too long. My brain can't decide what I personally want a lot of times. Also, like, the reason I only took like certain jobs on is because everybody that I started dealing with near the end of all this, they were super cool. And then honestly, I feel like I took advantage of like their patience and just didn't let it take priority. So that's on me, you know. But I do feel bad about that. I still feel very bad. And he's like I said, Jaime's a really cool guy. But still, he didn't deserve to wait this long. If you can't do it, if you can't do the job, if you're not up to the job, don't say you can. You know? So I'm going to carefully cut this at an angle. Normally, I wouldn't want to break the cut, but I'm gonna, because I want to make sure we cut it nice and even, and we get all of this like knee pad in here. And the closer we get it to how we want it in the end, the less work we have to do. Let's kind of give it, I'm going to give it like a bend here. Let's get our razor back in there. This is very, you have to be, I'm being extremely careful right now. I know it doesn't look it, but do not ever rush in with a razor. I wouldn't even suggest holding it like I'm holding it right now. Even whenever you trust, you know, I think even though you trust an animal for many, many years, it can still bite you. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to use straight razors, use them at your own discretion. Just please, 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 please be very careful. They can cut you like, if you've never been cut by a straight razor, it's terrifying how fast it can just cut into you. So do be very careful. Go ahead and cut a little under here. Like I said, I'm kind of going at an angle. And we're going to have to clean this up, and we'll have to resculpt and paint some stuff here for sure, because obviously this was sculpted. It was meant to stay here, not be cut off and used for something else. And also be very, very careful that you don't, like, you know, if you're not paying attention, you could accidentally cut into something else on here. So just be very, 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 very careful. Oh, Craig, I think I was afraid of him until I cut myself. When I cut myself with him, that's when I learned to respect him. I mean, I wish I wouldn't have ever cut myself, but I think it's like one of those things where if you learn from it, then you learn from it. It's not something I would wish on anybody, because it was, you know, not fun. But god dang, you bleed fast too. Whew. We're gonna cut this down a little bit so it's gonna fit. You always want to be really careful if you're using a pre-existing piece, or even not, like just how I'm cutting this rubbery plastic. It will start to kind of beat up on you a bit, and what can happen is your Dremel can catch that and go around, and you scratch everything. So if you're trying to do less paint, then, you know, be very careful. Let's see how much this knee pad covers. So this is going to be the bottom. You can tell because that's where we cut it off, and it's a big old yellow spot. This is what we want here. And it's not going to go to the very top of the knee, I don't think. I think it's going to just leave a little bit showing, because you can see this knee pad over here. It's got just a little bit showing right there under the knee. So we're going to try to copy that. Let's set it right about here. This is where it's setting properly on the knee here. Okay. And I think we could probably shave down this, like I said, this knee piece underneath so it lays a little more flat. And then we're going to have to cut this piece down to where it'll fit in. You can just see here on these. I think I have one. Yeah, here's a good example. So you literally have to cut that deep in here. It's a pretty good chunk. I mean, so you're looking at probably about half an inch. Looks like about half an inch deep from the very tip of the rounded edges all the way in. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. We might have to kind of just drill through the sculpt here a little bit. Luckily, this piece right here that we have is black. Well, I say it's black plastic. I'm imagining once I shave this, it's going to turn freaking bright yellow. But we can always paint over that as well. And so I think what I generally would want to do in a situation like this is I want to cut straight down with my straight razor. What I would want to do is heat this up. And as you can see here in this one, what we're looking at here, let's see if I can't get some light on this situation. I swear I cannot get this thing to focus ever. It's all right. All right, let's turn some light on here. Once again, here's our cut. So what I would more than likely do is you take a razor blade and you cut straight down like so. And then you would cut straight in like this, and like that. So let's see, what are we looking at? So this is just on this one. So it looks like it goes to about halfway through the little hole here in the center. Ooh, there you go. And so that's what we would do here. We would start, what I would do is I'm going to heat this up just like I do my thigh mods. So you guys have probably seen me. If not, you could always check out the McFarlane thigh mods because it's pretty thick plastic. So what you want to do is, if you're going to do it this way, which you could just do this with a Dremel. You could simply do this with a Dremel, no problem. Or you could do it one side at a time. I will do it both sides, you know, like straight down like so, straight down like so, and then probably go in and start cutting away at it with a Dremel, because you could probably cut straight in like so with just a couple of corners, but it's going to be a little rough, you know what I mean? Anyways, that's what I'm going to do next, but not tonight because it's 9 o'clock. It's time. Captain McKay's getting out of here, so I'm leaving too. No. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Really appreciate it. Sorry I didn't really get a whole lot done, but this, if anybody was ever, you know, wondering like, why doesn't he do customs? He always says, this is why. This was just a night. Like, if somebody was paying you to do a custom and it was taking you this long just to figure out how to attach a knee joint, that's 2 hours. Given there was some obvious, like, we got interrupted in between a few of these. But man, how much is your time worth? You know what I mean? Like, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. So that's kind of where I am. I mean, it's no real excuse, but you know, I'm kind of atoning for a lot of the mistakes I made. And I was just like, man, I wish I wouldn't have taken on a lot of stuff. Not saying that about this. I'm not trying to make Jaime feel bad, but I just feel bad. Like I've learned, like, hey, you're gonna deal with this one, and then no more. You're done. You're done. That's it. No more. So, but I'm going to keep working on this. I hope you guys follow the Instagram. Like I said, I did get a toy to fix. I'd like to see what it is while we're here. Wow. It's a freaking Mezco, or not Mezco, Mafex Captain America. I think this one might actually have the ball joint broken. It looks like a bunch of super glue. I feel like I'm about to fix this. If I can pop this thing out, then I'm going to fix it. If I can't, then... Oh, man. It's moving. What the heck? That must mean this thing is so tight. That was one thing I did notice about the Mafex cap. He's pretty tight figure, man. There's some parts on him that are really, really tight. Oh, I think he was trying to tighten the joint, and it broke. Which kind of... Ew, there's something... like rubber cement on it or something. Okay, so how I would approach this take a 0.9mm drill bit. I'm going to drill straight in. I just couldn't help myself. Let's see, where am I? I don't think I need these. These are a little too big. My streams have had a habit lately of running way longer than they were supposed to. Okay. So, since we drilled a hole through there, I kind of made it a little bit bigger. We're going to take an eye hook screw. See if we can't. Okay. So we're in there. This can go one of two ways. The best possible way this could go is if I pull on this thing and it pops that joint out. If it pops that joint out, this is going to be a pretty good night. If it doesn't pop the joint out and it just pulls the screw out, then that means it's going to be a real bad time, because that means that thing is really, really in there. And yeah, let's see what happens. So I've drilled a hole in here, correct? And I've inserted my eye hook screw. I'm going to grip it with these. And let's see if we can't just, you can feel it moving a little bit. I'm going to pull straight down. Yay. This is good. It's good. Okay, so yeah, I'm pretty sure what's going to happen here too, since I'm kind of confused, really. I guess he went to tighten the joint and it broke, but the ball was moving in there, so I don't know if it just needed like to break the hold a little bit or what's going on. But since we drilled through on this end, we need to drill in through the other end, because this is the end that we're going to drive the screw through. And you can, there's a hole already there. Let's try not to break our freaking drill bit. Just kind of leaving it in there to gather some heat. Widen the hole just a little bit. Just a little bit. I do that so because this eye hook is bigger than the drill bit. I always do that because you want it to have a good grip. As you can see, I'm kind of struggling to even get it in there. Just need it to catch a little bit. If we can just get it to catch a little bit, we're golden. And usually all it takes is a little bit of pressure. So there we go. You see that we've heating up would do nothing on this, Julian. This is hard plastic, actually. That is a good first thought, but it wouldn't do anything because, like I said, this is hard plastic. Now, hard plastic can be heated up, but if you do get to the point of heating it up, it will mold. It will change the structure of it. Like literally, the composition of it will melt because it gets to a specific heat level that it actually melts. And you don't want that. Usually what we do is we heat it up to soften the plastic, not to melt the plastic. Something is on this though, and it's like rubber cement. stretchy. I don't like that. Okay, so, ooh, those are tight hips. Is that Julian? Is that what you're talking about? Oof. We can fix that for him. So Julian, honestly, what you'd have to do is you'd have to take like a flathead screwdriver, like so. Kind of come in from the inside to pop that leg out. What the hell? That's not supposed to happen. This is actually supposed to pop out, not that. This is so tight that it actually popped that other piece out. Hang tight. Let's get this out of here. Man, good lord. I mean, we can go in from this side and just kind of pop it up. Trying to just like try to, you want to like pop straight out. You never want to try to pull it down because it could possibly break the joint. Man, that is really, nah, I don't trust shock oil. I think shock oil wears out over time. That's just me though. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. Man, these are really bad. Oof. Yeah, I don't. This one I guess isn't too horrible because it still moves, but man, yeah, I wanna get this thing. I'm gonna hit myself in the eyeballs. What I'm gonna do? It's gonna pop out and be like, or it's gonna end up in freaking Argentina when I pop it out. You gotta be very careful when doing this so you don't break. I don't remember mine being like this, and I messed with that guy for a minute. I guess, like I said, there's QC issues all over the place with this guy. Some will have this, some will not. Good lord. Yeah, this is rough. Like, I can't get this thing to, like, bend to the correct spot. God dang. I was just supposed to be... See, I'm just supposed to be fixing the waist, guys. I should have started with this tonight. I could actually... Oh, my God. The thing is, though, you can't lose your patience on one of these, man, because you have to stay very, very, very patient. If I could get this dang thing to bend to the right, do not do it by the peg. Whatever you do. See if we can't. Careful. Okay, that got it to move. So now our opening is open, like directly open. I can't get a good grip on it because the pants are in the way. So what I ended up doing there was I actually gripped it from right here in the back and then went forward, like outwards, like that. And popped it out. Man, so what I would do in a situation, Jesus, what I would do in a situation like that, don't mess with the ball joint at all. Just go in with a rounded burr bit and Dremel just a little. This is pretty hard plastic. You don't have to do a whole lot. That should be enough. And that probably sounded like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. But now we're gonna go ahead and pop this back on. That should have gotten rid of, I would hope like at least 50% of the issue, which would make me feel way better than that. Let's see if we can just pop it on. There it went, popped on. Let's pop the leg back on, because that's crazy that even happened. It's still got the squeak, but I can tell. Just you'd have to. I sound like I'm lying. You'd have to feel it. It sounds way more scary than that is. That's way more solid. Earlier it was barely bending. Now it bends no problem. Man, there was stuff all over this figure. There's like, I don't know what it is. I can't tell if glue got on here or what. I haven't messed with any glue today, so it's like stuck bits. I think it's just like whatever was used to like try to tighten these joints. Looks like he got it on his fingers and then touched the figure itself. Because there's all sorts of fun stuff in here. Anyways, cool. Now that we got that figured out. Yeah, but now the legs can actually move. Let's take our drill bit. Oh shit, Ori's here. Welcome back. I was supposed to be off of here, but I stayed. I ended up opening that package. Turned out to be a broken Mafix Captain America, so I decided I was going to fix it. And then, of course, I found more issues and more issues, like you do. But I think this is about to be a one and done. I think we're about to be done with this. What I would do, though, is I would go back in where this ball was. Dremel just a tad bit like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this screw out. We're going to go ahead and straighten this screw, which I think we can do just from here. Straighten it out. We just need it to be long enough to go through the peg that we just drilled a hole through. And we're going to do that by straightening out the eye hook screw. What we're doing right now. This got a bit of a divot in it that I don't want. I don't usually mind a slight divot, but that one's just a little more than I'd want. Okay, I think that'll work. Oop, I'm not sure. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and grip the peg since we've drilled a hole through it. See how far we can go here. We want to make sure that we see the tip of this screw start coming out the end of the peg here, which sometimes can feel like it takes forever. I always like to move a little slower though, because you want to feel it out if it feels like it's too tight. Now this is a much stronger screw than some of the smaller ones I've used, so it doesn't tend to break as easy. All right, so you can see our screw is starting to come through all the way there. So what I want to do is I'm going to back up the tracks here. And I found that like I used to take the whole thing out and I would put glue all the way in there. A lot of times now I'll back it up a pretty good ways, but sometimes I won't take it all the way out. It's just a pain in the butt to do. Let's go ahead and screw it. We'll go ahead and do it. Okay, so you can see like it's not all the way out. You can see the threading. So we're going to unscrew our super glue. I'm going to go ahead and not do it over all of the freaking work. Are you crazy? I was trying to show it off, and I'm like, man, imagine if that just dripped down. It generally won't. JB Super Weld's pretty great stuff, but as it drips, look at that. Almost dripped down. All right. So now we'll start screwing that in. You can see there's like I put a good amount on there, as I like to do that because it'll lace all the way on the inside. And we're wanting to keep like, you want to keep like some of the threading still in the top half here of this peg. That way it still has that threading to connect to. Then we're going to Dremel, or excuse me, we're going to keep screwing this in a little bit more. Gosh, it's getting really wacky. Okay. Back it up a little bit. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. I'm actually going to, gosh, I got so much on there. I can actually lace the screw with the excess glue. Jeez, dude. That was way more than I usually put on. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add a dab of glue, even a little bit more to the tip here, because we want that connection to be solid. I'm just going to take a quick photo of this, just for, you know, content. Got to have that content constantly. It'd be cool if it focused too. All right. So let's take our Captain America that we got the hole already drilled in. And let's go ahead and start putting our screw in. Let's go ahead and grab our pliers here. Always screw it in by the screw, never by the peg itself. If you do that, you risk breaking the hold that you've put on the peg there with the screw. So we want to keep that intact and give a nice tight fit. There's a bit of excess super glue in there. So what we can do is a lot of times I'll take like knock something over. I'll take like a either my old screwdriver here, and I'll just kind of rub it up and down the the peg shaft. What it'll do is it'll get in those seams of where the initial break was, and it kind of gives you just a little bit of durability because you've got like a coating now that kind of goes around, and that's only if you like used a little too much. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna allow this to dry, and when it does dry, we can go in and we can clip. Actually, I could probably clip this off now. If I had my big old clippers. Oh, I do. So we can take our big clippers here. I'm going to go ahead and hold it. Usually I'll do this in a bag, but since it's got glue all over it, I'm just going to hold on to them. You want to get as close as you can. It's going to leave a pretty sizable, I guess that's not that bad. Usually, yeah, and so what happens here is it every time you clip, unless you guys know of some kind of super clipping tool that will clip that close, like a really close shave, usually what I've got to use is these end clippers here, like so, and I'll usually come in and clip the rest of this off. As you can see, I can't really get a grip on them, so that was actually probably one of the closest cuts I think I've ever gotten. What we need to do though is I allow the glue to dry, or at least take hold for a bit, And what we want to do is we want to sand that down on the top there, because we do not want anything to interfere with the movement, the smooth movement of that ball peg rubbing up inside here. If we were to try to put that on right now, it would definitely be off kilter. So even though I said I'd like to let it dry, a lot of times you can go ahead and do it. I won't lie. It's just a little safer, but for the sake of entertainment, we'll fire up the Dremel 4000 here. You notice that sawing motion that I'm using whenever I'm going back and forth like that. That just kind of helps grind it down just a little quicker, going against the grain like that. And so that just, it helps not only with time, but it also helps, with that time will come friction and heat. And you don't want that heat heating up that screw as it goes down, because it can melt that plastic. It can break the adhesive hold as well. So... but yeah, so now we've got that. We've got a nice little hold on here. Looking pretty dang good. There might need a little extra sanding right here. But I think that's glue. Just a little light sanding to kind of smooth around the edge. Because you generally don't want to mess with the ball peg shape, because that can really mess things up. If that ball is not perfectly round, it can really cause issues. Think of like I don't know, almost like rolling on a flat tire, essentially. Like it just kind of wobbles and it won't fit in that spot correctly. There's definitely a little extra piece of plastic right there that I think popped up from the from where it originally broke on the bottom here. Cool. So I don't want to pop this on just yet, but it might be safe too. And make sure we put the belt back on, not upside down. There we go. Butts in the back, just like a human does. And what we should be able to do is just pop this on. It should work. Pardon. All right, 1, 2. That feels a little tight. I don't think I'm comfortable with that. Yeah, we might need to shave it down just a little bit. It's probably why this thing broke in the first place. So I just sanded down the inside just a tad. Let's put this dang belt back on that keeps falling off. Make sure that this is smoothed out. There's nothing in the way. There's one little piece right there that's kind of bothering me. I can take a picture of this real quick, and then I think I can pop this on. I think we'll be done with this. And then I can go, like, pet my dogs. That's what I'm about to go do that. They know I'm in here. They've heard me all night, and they haven't made a sound. They've been really good. Okay. Take the belt off because that picture looks like trash. All right. Let's try this again. Now let's try this again. Why don't we just put this belt here? That makes it a lot easier on me. And then, all right, let's Take a look around in here. We're looking for that magical pop. You know the sound. You know that sound we're looking for. Alright, so it went on. Slowly. Okay. Moves forward right. To the side right. Okay. Side, I want to make sure that twist feels right. That's what's making me nervous. I want to make it. And you can actually, oh man, I can actually, so luckily the way this is built, I can actually see on the inside here if it's going to like bend my plastic or not. Yeah, alright, we're good. And as that like glue dries, it'll be even more solid. It didn't move at all. I was just, you never know. You always want to be careful. But bam. And yes, he actually sent me the head. All right, Steve. What the heck? Nothing really satisfyingly pops on here. But he is fixed. He's all set and he's good to go. Looks like the dude did some work prior, so that's why we had a little extra, what would you call it? A little extra resistance there. But we did it. All right, so it's 9:30. We fixed a toy tonight. I'm happy with that. I'll keep working on this damn Predator. It's going to be a freaking ton of work, like cutting that stuff. And honestly, I don't really want to put you guys through me sitting there dremeling for like an hour and a half. I'll probably do that. I'm actually taking Friday off this week. I'm going to be helping out a friend this weekend and whatnot. So maybe I'll be able to get some time in on it then, but we'll see. But anyways, thank you guys for joining me tonight. We got something fixed, although I didn't expect to. I'm sure that the client's going to be very happy that it literally arrived today and it could go out tomorrow. That's the Crewmaru Toy Mechanics way. And sucks we lost Ori there for a minute, but I'm really glad his internet's back on because there's nothing worse than losing your internet these days. We'll get on again some other time. There's many of these we can always do. They don't just stop. As long as you guys keep watching them, we'll keep doing them. But anyways, I want you guys to always take care of each other out there. And remember that the impossible